So I'm going to kick this off. This is another episode of the hit list. I'm not going to go into yesterday, but it was, you know what, I guess I probably should. If anyone's kind enough to listen and watch these, I guess I can at least tell you what was going on. That's Sicky's Garage and Burgers. You know, I don't think I'd want to eat anywhere that's called Sicky's. Why would you want to eat somewhere that's called that? That's just my opinion. I'm going to walk by and film this here if this guy in this fucking Volkswagen will go on. Take a picture next time, old man. It'll last longer. Anyway, I will briefly go into what happened yesterday. Have you ever been awake so long? That's Sicky's again. It's a terrible name for a fucking restaurant. Anyway, but have you ever been where you haven't slept and you haven't eaten, more importantly, haven't slept, and then you're like, I'm going to go eat something I normally never eat just so I can have nourishment in my body, okay? And again, if you're just checking this out, I'm explaining why I didn't film yesterday, as I had planned to for over a month, and I'm sorry about that. But anyway, so I go into said restaurant that I never eat at, that I'm not a fan of, and it's nothing I'm showing you right now. I'm not even going to discuss it or give them any kind of free advertising out of it. But anyway, so I go in the restaurant, and if you go into any kind of fast food restaurant, there's always ads on the restaurant, like, oh, get our combo for $9.99, or our drink and fry and meal deal thing for $7.99 or whatever. Coincidentally, this was a $7.99 meal thing, okay? So I go in there, and let me show you this real quick, and I'll explain what happened yesterday. Looks like they're building some kind of timeshare condo bullshit. So supposedly this place is really good. It's world famous Boston Lobster Feast. I've never ate here because it's like $100 a person, but apparently it's all you can eat. So shout out to my buddy Rob for that, because he likes to eat here. He used to eat here, or some bullshit. Anyway, smoking liquor. It's something we can't do anymore. God knows there are days where smoking liquor sounds pretty good. Anyway, just walking around here in celebration again. But anyway, so yesterday, so I'm starving to death, very hungry, and it's really windy today too, so the speaker's probably picking that up, and I apologize. It happens. It is what it is. But anyway, so you got the specials on the window, and I'm sure I'm not the only asshole in the world that's like, okay, I'm cheap. I just want the cheap combo thing, right? Because I'm on a budget, you know. Doing this stuff, none of this is cheap, but I do it on a budget, and it is cheap. So anyway, so long story short, I go in, and just like so many restaurants now, it's one of those kiosks. God forbid you actually talk to a cashier or anybody running the goddamn store. So there's no one to talk to. So I'm at the kiosk, and the special, what a shock, the $7.99 special, which was 3 chicken strips, fries, and a drink. And if you can figure out the $7.99 special that has that, you'll figure out what restaurant I was at, but I'm not going to say their fucking name. Anyway, so it's not on the kiosk, so I can't order it. I go over. All they care about is dealing with fucking DoorDash shit and Uber Eats and all this other crap. So finally, the manager guy, who would appear to be the manager, comes up, and he's like, it's on there, look under blah, blah. Well, no, dude, it's not, you know? And then he got busy again, and I never saw the guy again, right? So I'm just standing there, and I stood there a lot longer. My buddy even was like, dude, you stood there forever. I can't believe you waited that long to get food from a restaurant you don't even like. But I was fucking hungry. My body needed nourishment. I hadn't eaten. All I'd had to eat yesterday was a fucking grilled cheese. And I was hungry. This is like fucking, 5, 6 o'clock at night. So it's like in the afternoon, early night. It's like I'm fucking hungry. Right? But then I had planned on going afterwards to Disney Springs and filming some last night, but this is what ruined the whole fucking day yesterday. And about got me in trouble with the cops. So the manager guy, he tells me again, he's like, no, dude, it's on there. It's on the kiosk or whatever. So I had my buddy look at the kiosk, and he's like, no, there's nothing on the fucking kiosk. The deal's not on there. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? So the manager guy never comes back, and I end up asking this girl that's working the drive-thru, which was a huge fucking mistake. And the girl running the drive-thru is like, oh, you can only get that meal if you go through the drive-thru. I'm like, well, I'm on foot. I just got off a fucking plane. I haven't ate since this morning. I'm not trying to give you a sob story, but I haven't ate. I'm hungry. Can you just sell me the 3 chicken strips and the fries and the drink, and I'll bounce? And then she's like, you've got to go through the drive-thru. I'm like, I don't have a fucking car. I'm on foot. I literally just got here. I had to take a ride share to get to this restaurant. It's like, I just want to get the $7.99 deal. And she literally just goes, and I go, really? And she goes, And I don't know what came over me, okay? I started to walk away. And by the way, this is a double-decker restaurant, okay? So there's a downstairs and an upstairs. No buffet, but there's a downstairs and an upstairs to this chicken restaurant. So anyway, I get about halfway from the register after this bitch blows me off, and at the top of my lungs, and I mean at the top of my lungs, okay? And, this is not trying to be insensitive to anybody, but this is what I did. Just kind of came over me. I don't know if it was because I was just tired, grumpy, grouchy, I was hungry, but I was like, okay, well, thanks a lot. You fucking cunt! And I mean, I said that at the top of my fucking lungs, okay? And I know cunt's like a really gross and ugly word to a lot of people, and I'm not trying to be gross or ugly about it, but this person that I was calling a cunt was definitely a cunt. Like, that's an understatement. She was the cunt of a lifetime. And then, understandably so, they called the fucking police on me, to which I would tell you, I'm assuming it was disturbing the peace, because I didn't realize there were a shitload of people upstairs at this restaurant, on a strip here in a, tourist mecca. And I called this woman a cunt, even though she was a cunt, for the way she treated me, because she wouldn't sell me a fucking $7.99 advertised meal that's on the goddamn window. Told me I had to go through the drive-thru. I'm like, well, can I walk through the drive-thru? No. And I'm like, really? Then we get in an argument, and I call her a fucking cunt. They call the police, and the reason I know this is because I'm in pretty good shape. I didn't used to be. I'm in pretty good shape now. I walk a lot, I exercise a lot. That's a long story. I'm not going to get into it. Anyway, so Orlando Harley-Davidson shop there. Anyway, so I notice I start seeing police cars start sort of heading into the chicken restaurant double-decker chain here thing, and it was a Popeyes, by the way. I wasn't going to say who it was. It was a shitty, godforsaken, overpriced Popeyes restaurant that fucked me over yesterday. Anyway, so someone in the restaurant, or an employee, maybe the one I called a cunt, called the police, and I'm assuming they were going to try to get me for disturbing the peace. So I see all these police, like, not a lot, but like 3 cars pull into the Popeyes, and I'm like, well, I'm in deep shit. So I start taking off on foot, and I get across the street, and I notice one of them, because I'm sure they had described me, and one kind of shoots out of there. I took off down like a fucking back alley, like in between where these 2 hotels are, another business, and an intersection, and I just got inside the fucking dumpster. And I hid inside the fucking dumpster for, I know as crazy as this sounds, but I didn't want to go to jail for calling somebody a cunt. So I hid in the fucking dumpster for like, I don't know, an hour, half an hour, 45 minutes, something like that. I don't know. And did that. And happy to be here today filming. And I wasn't going to tell the story, but I was like, why not tell the story, you know? I ran my mouth and it about got me locked up. Even though I don't really see what the big deal is me cussing somebody out that was literally a stupid fucking cunt, because that's what she was. But I guess there's no freedom of speech anymore. And somebody definitely called the law on me. And I'd also like to point out, I thought it was really funny that everybody that came in there, you know, everybody was super nice to him, and then I come in wanting a $7.99 meal, and I'm just a piece of shit. It's like, okay, well, it's on the building. But see, and then I thought about it later, most people are probably ordering this shit on their app, and it's probably on the app. It wasn't on the kiosk, it was probably on their fucking app. And then the drive-through people, of course, they get blown, you know, but I don't have a car whenever I'm out filming shit. I'm on foot. I take ride shares everywhere, that's the truth. And, you know, there's the Fridays. They're revamping it already, but the sign's still there. I'll get some footage of that at night when there's not a bunch of workers over there, like before. You know, and I'm sorry some of the stuff is repetitive that I film, but I'm kind of a creature of habit. But there is a lot of different stuff I'm going to be showing you over just the next 3 days because I can and because I'm awesome. But anyway, yeah. The Fridays that I ate in a long time ago. I filmed this a bunch, but it's kind of something I do now. But anyway, yeah, fucking Popeyes restaurants. Like, you know, I get it. I work fast food, okay? I did it. I worked at a fucking Central Park, okay? Which is the worst fucking job on the planet because you're literally inside a goddamn box that's like, for the younger folks that may or may not listen to this or hear it, a Central Park was a really, really, really tiny restaurant inside a box. Like you were literally in like an old photo mat. And I know that's another old word. It's like, what's a photo mat? What's a photo? Anyway, it's not on my iPhone. But anyway, I've done my service to this country working food service. It sucks, okay? I understand that. But there was no reason to just not give me the $7.99 fucking thing that's on your window. Like, who doesn't do that? That's so insane that they would not do that. So anyway, I would call and complain, but I don't think it's in my best interest because I would imagine I would get a visit from law enforcement for disturbing the peace, which, I mean, if it's something else, I don't know what else they could arrest me for other than disturbing the peace. Unless calling someone a cunt is illegal now. Maybe it is. It seems like there's a lot of laws that I don't know about anymore. There's a Cracker Barrel. Love Cracker Barrel. I've never ate at that one, but I love it. But yeah, that's real stuff. Like, that really happened. And that's why I didn't film yesterday. It was just like... But, you know, I have a bad temper, but I did not mean to flip out in the middle of that restaurant. But I flipped out in the middle of that restaurant walking out. I mean, and I said it loud too. Like a banshee loud, like loud. Like I screamed it as loud as you could scream something at somebody. And I was walking away, you know, but it was really scary. And look, was it a coincidence that the 3 cop cars pulled in there right after I did that? I don't think so. I think someone called the law on me, you know? And I get it. I guess if I was in there eating with somebody or my kids and I heard somebody call somebody a fucking cunt, and they thought, you know, it was about to get violent in there, even though that was not the case at all. I was just venting my frustration. But yeah. The only thing I can come up with it was that they were going to try to get me with disturbing the peace. I don't know that. I'm just assuming that's what they were going to do. Oh, you're disturbing the peace. It's like, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, I guess I was, you know. So that was a very bizarre and weird situation to go through. But I dealt with it the best I could, you know. And honestly, I was in such a shitty mood after that happened. And, after I had to do the walk of shame from the said dumpster to back to my hotel. But, it's better than going to jail, especially over something that I did do, but I felt like, honestly, looking back on it today, I was justified in doing because she was a cunt. I mean, I'm not trying to be, I don't know any other way to describe somebody that's refusing to help you. And then I was like, well, can I walk through the drive-thru and get the 70? I mean, I tried to do everything I could to get the 3-piece tenders, fries, and a drink for $7.99. They were not going to let me have it. So the only thing I knew to do was walk out and then, bang, and I say the big C word and all that. Yeah, whatever. Speaking of cunts, there's Chick-fil-A. I'm not a fan. It's cooked in peanut oil. Their fries are, and their fried sandwiches are. So I can't eat there. I know people think it's like the life's blood of their life, and I'm not knocking people for it, but I personally think it sucks. And the whole religious motif attached to it too is not really appealing to me as well. But yeah, that's what happened yesterday. It sucked, like you don't expect something like that to happen, and I'll probably end up regretting airing this out on here, but it is what it is, I've got a bad temper, and I about paid the piper for it yesterday. Even though, again, if I had got caught, which I'm glad it didn't, I would have been like, look, it's on the fucking window. Nobody will sell me this. It's not like I was trying to hold up the fucking place. I was trying to buy it. So, yeah. I guess to everybody out there, don't ever go with me into a Popeye's chicken. And don't worry, I won't ask to go after that happens. So, speaking of places I don't want to go, there's a Krispy Kreme donuts. To which I will tell you, I was always a Dunkin' Donuts guy. I was never a Krispy Kreme person. I don't eat donuts at all. They're fattening and bad for you. But if I had to eat one, I'm going to eat Dunkin' Donuts. That's just my opinion. I just like it better. I don't even know if they still sell Munchkins, but that's what I ate as a kid. I always liked those. Yeah, for my age, I still got some wheels. I found that out yesterday, so that's good. Hid in the dumpster. That wasn't great. Luckily, there was no food in this dumpster. I'm glad it was not attached to a restaurant. And if there was any said food in there, I didn't smell it. In fact, I think the dumpster I hid in was actually like a construction site dumpster, actually. Kind of dangerous. I could have stepped on some metal or something, injured myself, but luckily that didn't happen. Somebody was looking out for me yesterday, and it damn sure wasn't my mouth. But yeah, anyway. Advent Health Latino ad on the building. Sunbelt Reynolds thing here. I don't know what this guy's doing, but it's like, I get it, you're riding the clock, but it's like, I gotta bounce, yo. I gotta go. Watch me get run over by some Massachusetts asswipe. I gotta be honest about that. As far as Massachusetts goes, not a fan. I love Tom Brady, and I know Tom played the Patriots, and that's what he's known for. And I love him, but I can't deal with any of their other fucking sports teams. I'm not a fan. Never was, never will be. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. And then the whole everything else travel-wise was pretty smooth. Other than, I had some fucking hick dipshit that was covered in these, like, stupid, like, prison tattoos. And, of course, he had his big beard. And then my favorite thing, from just my favorite place, he had a hat on yesterday, this fucking tool that I saw traveling. He had his Tennessee stud hat on. And I'm like, well, that's a mic drop moment for me on how I feel about all that too. You just took the words out of my mouth there, you cousin fucker, motherfucker. I won't even get into any more of that. It was a fucking nightmare. And then, another thing that set me off yesterday, this fucking guy, where I was sitting, just trying to kind of regain my thoughts a minute, this fucking guy walks up with his stupid whore wife, and he's all like, and she's all like, is this seat taken? Yeah, it's taken by my goddamn bag. And I've been sitting here for 2 hours. Yeah, it's taken. And then this fucking dipshit that was like 10 years old behind me in a fucking Alice in Chains shirt that I guess he bought at Hot Topic. It's like, oh, you can sit here. It's like, you know, I didn't get the memo on give peace a chance and being nice to everybody that's rude to me. But I'll tell you this, her husband, when he stared back at me, when he was walking off, he's lucky I didn't put him in the fucking hospital. And see, I had all that built up energy. The reason I'm telling you this is because I had all that built up energy and angst by the time I was in the fucking Popeyes. So I was ready to fucking, you know, burn the motherfucker down when they wouldn't give me my fucking meal, even though I don't even like Popeyes anyway. And now I'll never go in there again. So, yeah, you know, I'm just like that. I get rubbed the wrong way with something. It's like, yeah, I'm done. I'm good. And I may not even vocalize that sometimes, but most of the time I will. But, yeah, I'm sorry about yesterday. I'm going to make it up to you today. Anybody that gives a shit. A handful of people that do. And it's going to be cool. Here's you something interesting. This fucking place was closed when I was here just like last month. And now it's open, which is just really weird. I don't know who Rick Ross is, but they've got him performing here. Maybe someone out there knows who the fuck that is. I don't know who that is. I know who Rick Ross is. He was the live guitar, or excuse me, a studio and live guitarist for Death. But I don't know who Rick Ross is. Only my kind of music. Anyway, this place doesn't look open, but I guess it's open. It's weird. I guess it is open. They just don't have any visitors. Because I just saw some lifeguards. Try to get some video of this, but you know, and me going to something like a water park, let's just be honest. So last year, and this is, you know, I'm just calling it like it is, right? I'm not saying this, I'm just saying how I was perceived at this. Long story short, Disney had given me some comps because of a bad experience I had with some of their employees at the main gate at Magic Kingdom. So I had this card that had basically a gift card with a shitload of money on it. And I decided to go to one of their water parks, which was awesome. But me going to a water park, especially with another dude, it was like the pervert Olympics is what it looked like, you know? It was not a good look for me. It was not a good look at all, even though I had a blast. But it was essentially the pervert Olympics. So me going to a water park like that place, that ain't fucking happening. You know, pay a hooker to walk around with me, at least I don't look like a fucking pervert. And not because I think I am. I mean, beyond the normal extent of a guy. I still very much have my sex drive at my age, but, you know, there's just some things you can't do without looking like a fucking pervert, you know? It's unfortunate, but it's reality. Anyway, they had comped me, and we went, and it was cool. You know, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. But, you know, it was what it was. There was a lazy river there. I was in that most of the day. It was really cool. But, anyway, yeah, the whole water park thing. I think they should even age limit that men over a certain age shouldn't be allowed in there unless you've got, like, your kids with you, you know? Because it's a bad look. It just is. You know, any guy over 25 years old, if you're not in there with your little brother or a kid or something like that, it's essentially the pervert Olympics. this fucking restaurant. The last time that I was here, I filmed some footage of this place. I don't know what it is about just cliche stuff that just drives me completely and totally crazy, but yeah, I could not deal with eating in this guy's, classic rock restaurant. It's like, yeah, I'm good. I don't even like really eating in any kind of themed restaurant, I mean, even the shit at Disney's not themed to the point where this is. But anyway, I'm not going to show you too much of this because I've made fun of this fucking place, I don't know, multiple times when I've filmed this stuff. Of course, now I've got the YouTube channel, which is great, that I built, and I can just chuck stuff on there, and if it's bad and people like it, if they want to watch it, it's out there, it's not gone. Because the Facebook Live stuff, like I'm using right now, it only lasts I think it's on there for a month, maybe a little longer than that, then it goes away. So I've just been taking the stuff down, downloading it, and then putting it onto my YouTube page so people can actually go there if they're interested in what the hit list is and what I'm doing. So, the hit list is to play on words. I'm just I'm an assassin, but I'm just showing you shit that I go do because I used to podcast. And people used to give a shit about the podcast that I was on, and those people probably don't give a fuck, to be honest with you, what I do now. But, if there's ever anybody looking for it, here I am. I'm not dead, which is great. I'm glad I'm not dead, and I'm pretty healthy. I am walking near, apparently, the dumpster for that rock and roll bullshit place, because, man, that smells fucking rough. It's got a big old whiff of that, and it was not good. So I don't get killed crossing the street here. I mean, can I just say something about Skechers shoes real quick? I know a lot of people like them, but the only people I see wearing Skechers are old men. Seriously. It's like once you hit a certain age, I guess you're just told to go buy them. I'm not a fan. I've tried them on. I'm really big into comfort. I'm a Puma guy myself, but even if I wasn't, and to be completely clear, if Skechers was the most comfortable shoe on the planet, I wouldn't wear it just because their ad campaign. It's like, why do you have fucking Joe Montana? Nothing against him, but why do you have fucking Joe Montana running ads for your stuff if you're not trying to sell these to old men? That's the only people I ever see wearing them are old men. And it's just, I refuse, even if I could be considered an old man, I'm not wearing fucking Skechers. It's a bad look. And I'll hold on to what youth I have left, and I'm not going to sell it down the river with Skechers. This is my opinion. If y'all think they're great shoes, wonderful, fantastic. I was not a fan. I tried them on. I was like, not into this. Back at the shopping center here, doing our thing, and see if we can find some stuff. I'm not going to film that, but I get to deal with every security scumbag, asswipe, I'm sure. Hopefully, nothing bad around the corner for me today, like jail, like that almost was yesterday, or whatever the hell they were going to do to me. Off in the distance, there's the Studio Movie Grill, which I really like that place, even though I had an incident there too. Not sure if I ever talked about it. So when I was there a month ago, we went and saw the new Scream movie, which I liked, which I know is weird because I'm not a big Scream guy, but anyway, it was really good. And I go to the movie, and they serve food in there, and the cat that I was with watching the movie had food thrown all over him, specifically hot barbecue sauce. They didn't even apologize for it. The girl's like, oh, I'll go get you a towel. She never came back with said towel. And it ruined a pair of my friend's shoes. And, of course, I went and complained, and we got some free movie tickets out of it or whatever. It was still fucking stupid. It's like, I don't know. People are very gluttonous, so of course people would want to stuff their face at a fucking movie and throw it all over, have the server throw it all over someone I'm there with, including myself. Well, that didn't happen to me, but it could have. But I get it, because people are lazy and stupid, so you gotta be gluttonous and have everything while you're doing something else, you know. You need to go take a shit, you should be able to eat your meal there too, I guess. Just never understood the whole. I worked at a place years ago, not when it was doing it, but it formally served food there and alcohol and all this other stuff. It's like, I guess I get that, but I think you're also just asking for fucking trouble when you serve all these things to people, especially alcohol, around a bunch of assholes. Sometimes it can be just a really bad mix for an environment to get yourself in trouble, especially myself. And again, whatever, I have a weird askew prospect on all, or process on how my thoughts are on stuff like that. Anyway, there they are. I think I've definitely shot up stuff here before, but used to, when I would walk this, I was out of breath like miles back. Now I'm like rock and roll, about in shape, like when I played hockey when I was younger. Not quite, but my legs, it's great. Like my cardio is getting a lot better. My doctor's probably going to fall over dead when he does my cardio stuff when I see him in a month. But yeah, it's a beautiful day down here. I'm sure I'll find a way to walk into something that's not beautiful. I hope not. Well, it's weird because last time I didn't have any issues. We had a pretty much flawless trip. This time it's just been, yesterday anyway, was just, just a bad situation. I should have just walked out of the Popeyes. I should have been like, you know what? You don't want to sell me whatever that's advertised on your window. And I should have just done the adult thing and called corporate. But the weird part is I did not consciously flip out on that chick. It just kind of happened. I'd had enough and I blew my fucking top. It wasn't, it wasn't done purposely. I didn't plan it. It just happened. Anyway, it was weird. All right, I'm gonna go in said Target and I'll be back.